As an author, I'm familiar with the idea of copyright, my legal authority to control what I've created. Now, let's start by defining where the power of copyrights come from. From Article 1, Section 8 of the Constitution, Congress has the power to promote the progress of science and useful arts by securing for limited times to authors and inventors the exclusive right to their respective writings and discoveries. Congress has the power to promote science and useful arts, not by funding them, but by giving the creators exclusive rights to their creations, for a limited time, of course. Now, this case started in 2018 when members of the music industry, collectively referred to as the plaintiffs or Sony, sued Cox Communications. Their claims are for vicarious liability and contributory infringement arising out of alleged copyright infringement by defendant subscribers. What is this vicarious liability Cox is accused of? Vicarious liability holds a defendant accountable for third-party infringement if he, 1, possessed the right and ability to supervise the infringing activity, and 2, possessed an obvious and direct financial interest in the exploited copyrighted materials. So the courts say that you can be held liable for someone else's infringement if you were able to supervise their activity and had a financial interest in the exploit of the copyrighted materials. Remember this, as it will become important during the arguments. The district court found that Cox's method of terminating their user accounts on a case-by-case basis wasn't standardized or aggressive enough to immunize Cox. While the district court found Cox liable, the Fourth Circuit split the decision, claiming that Cox was not vicariously liable but directly culpable because they continue to supply internet access while knowing people will use it to infringe on a copyright, which brings us to the Supreme Court.
Thank you, Mr. Chief Justice, and may it please the Court. The Fourth Circuit held that a provider of basic communications infrastructure to millions of homes and businesses can be held liable because it did not kick enough accused infringers off the Internet. No notion of tort or copyright law ever conceived can support that theory.
This is a fundamental issue of liability. Sony does not claim that Cox did nothing to help them protect their copyrights, only that they didn't do enough.
This court explicitly rejected the theory in Twitter where it said, quote, plaintiffs have identified no duty that would require communication providing services to terminate customers after discovering that the customers were using the service for illegal ends. This court said in Grokster that liability cannot be predicated on, quote, mere failure to take affirmative steps to prevent infringement. Reaffirming those basic principles resolves this case. No case has suggested that knowledge alone can create the necessary culpability to find someone liable for infringement.
Mr. Rosencrantz claims that simply knowing that illegal things are going on is not enough to create liability. Again, another point to keep in mind as we go forward.
The consequences of plaintiff's position are cataclysmic. There is no surefire way for an ISP to avoid liability, and the only way it can is to cut off the Internet, not just for the accused infringer, but for anyone else who happens to use the same connection. That could be entire towns, universities, or hospitals.
Imagine having your internet connection turned off merely because someone in your home has been accused of copyright infringement. Not convicted, not adjudicated, but merely accused of copyright violation. Does that sound like justice?
Turning Internet providers into Internet police for all torts perpetrated on the Internet will wreak havoc with the essential medium through which modern public engages in commerce and speech. This court should reverse. I welcome the court's question.
Obviously, since Mr. Rosencrantz is representing Cox Communications, he believes the court should reverse the decision of the Fourth Circuit.